So I think the World War, for the most part, is over, unless there's more wars that pop up in this video. But there are still also lingering conflicts that we're seeing, and cities still being sieged. I mean, one thing for sure, this map is absolutely insane. I can't get over it. I cannot get over just looking at the minimap and just seeing how messy, how just gross everything looks. It looks so strange. And I've talked about this before. It's just because there are just so many teams and there's so many civs that are still alive because of the team mechanic. Bam, so there goes a city. Bam, right there, Rome is down to 2 cities. That's huge. That's very big because Rome has no more units left. It is just the Pope protecting Rome at this point. That's an interesting statement. That is, there we go. I think that's irony. I think I finally figured it out. That might be irony. The Pope is larger, in the Papal States, larger than Rome, and they're protecting Rome. I think that's irony. Anyways, yeah, the map is crazy. I can't get over it. It's very entertaining to just look at the minimap and see how many more colonies there still are all over the place. Oh, someone finally settled Iceland. It is Spain. Boom. And Spain settled right in the middle of it, so I don't think anyone else is going to be able to get here. I don't believe. But kind of a weird, interesting spot. I don't know why they didn't go after the oil. Well, they probably didn't want to be on well, they're already on the snow. There's a lot of tundra here. Anyways, either way, do we see anything else? No. Big deal is with the Huns. The Huns are in a very interesting situation. They managed to hold back the Russian attack. There looks like there's going to be a second Russian attack. And Novgorod and Russia are having a very tough time, I think, with this city for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea why they're having such a tough time. It's not in a very interesting location. It doesn't have any mountains or not a lot of rough terrain. I mean, yeah, the forests make things tough, but still, it's weird. I know that it was interesting. A few videos ago, there were somebody that was wondering why I put so much emphasis on rivers. Rivers, I do think still are a very big deal. I do put a lot of emphasis on if a city is next to a river in terms of like kind of conflicts and battles, because I understand that it's not that much of a penalty if you're attacking across a river. It's like 33%. It's still bad because the AI is dumb. You gotta understand that. Yeah, like if we were watching a bunch of human players play this out, the river wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because it's an AI, they have a tough time already navigating and setting up the perfect attack for the siege of a city. So limiting their movement to one tile is tough. It's very tough. So whenever there's rough terrain or there's a river, it's going to make things even harder. It's going to distract the AI even more. That's why it's a big deal. It's not, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, like, attacking across the river, 33% penalty. It still sucks, but the AI, every single thing that makes, a little bit tougher for a human player, it makes it, I think, twice or maybe 3 times as hard for an AI for when it comes to terrain. So, yeah, I still think that, when it comes to rivers and rough terrain, you really have to emphasize that when it comes to these AI-only battles. It makes a difference. I really think that it does. I don't know why the AI is having trouble taking over this city. My guess is the rough terrain, slightly the river. I think the river provides a little bit. And it's just the AI being the AI, where they're having a tough time kind of navigating and figuring out the best location for each unit to take over the city. But still, it's interesting. Yep, the Huns have retreated. The Goths will hold back Attila, and Attila's probably going to have to defend a little bit. I don't know why Attila's not going after St. Petersburg, much more valuable city, because I don't know if they're going to be able to keep any of this stuff. The Huns aren't really a naval civ, so they could easily be invaded and get these cities taken back away. Although the Goths are now only at 1 coastal city. The Hittites, who haven't really been building a navy, might have better luck controlling the Black Sea. And of course, Constantinople, if they stay around, they're going to make things tough. And Alexander will never be able to come over there and help the Goths at all. Oh, here comes the Pope. The Pope will take back the city, it looks like. But Rome will still be down to 2 cities, because it won't be Rome that takes it. It will be the Papal States themselves. So they're going to take this back. Is there anything else? Anything else going on in the Middle East? The Umayyads have been going after the Babylonians, but nothing has happened there. The Sumer and the Armenians are at war. Bam, the Portuguese, Ramses, Umayyads, they're over. They're no longer a conflict between those two nations, those two alliances. That means that Egypt will not be expanding anymore. The Umayyad are also at peace with Babylon now. I don't know, I just can't get over the fact that it's almost turned 300 and the map still looks like this. That is insanity to me. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. The Goths ended up surviving, so they're still going to have their foothold in Northern Ireland. Scandinavia looks, for the most part, the same. Yeah, for the most part, the same. Austria, here comes Austria again. Austria going in for like their third invasion. And we have Hungary trying their best to move through, I think, Lithuanian and Polish territory. So, bam. The Pope took a hold of Sicily once again. But the Italian peninsula is looking really weak. If Greece holds on to their power, if they rebuild their fleet, I think it's safe to say that Greece might take over all of Italy. All of the Papal States and all of Rome. It would take, I think, 2 or 3 wars, but they'd eventually do it. Right now, I mean, their number one priority needs to be piecing out with Austria. Austria is just too tough. They're still coming after them. I don't know if Austria has a lot of production or what. They only have 3 cities, but they have been such a thorn in the Greek and the Goths side. The Greeks and the Goths have never really been able to go after them. It's strange. It's very weird. Yep, so the Huns have fully retreated. And so this city will finally fall. The Huns will lose 1 city. So they grabbed 1 city, they lost 1 city, about the same in population. The Huns shouldn't have even have had this city in the first place, though. It was a bad city to take for them. Made things too tough. Yeah, very, very tough. Is that Jerusalem? Jerusalem got settled here. All right. And I believe that is about almost the end of most of the conflicts. It was that point where there were just so many wars. Bam, Novgorod ended up taking that city, which is kind of a bigger deal because if it was Russia, that would have just been an extra colony. Now that Novgorod has this extra kind of perimeter city off of Eastern Europe, units like, or civs like Prussia and Lithuania are kind of on the chopping block. Novgorod might get aggressive here. Banning of incense. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, no, these 2 civs are definitely on the chopping block, I'd say. Poland and Prussia have been having a lot of trouble raising the army. Raising an army to defend themselves. They've gotten lucky. I don't know how, but they've gotten very lucky so far in the sense that they've been able to defend themselves from Hungary and Austria to the south. I don't think that's going to last. That luck will last for much longer. Again, we're kind of getting to that point. If my predictions are correct, I think things will change drastically after turn, 250. I think things start to really change after turn 250 in these team games because I think civs start to fall faster. The civs that end up still alive. Whoa, look at Egypt. What is Egypt doing? The civs that still have team members, the civs that are still surviving and they're going strong, I think start to pull away in the info addicts. They start to pull away in a lot of the categories. So that gives them a bigger advantage over more weaker civs. Interesting. Okay, so wait a second. Portugal and France, there is a border there. People with the pointiest sticks. Wow. That is out of nowhere. Great Britain and Queen Victoria have the most powerful military. Now, keep in mind that there was just a world war, and civs like Egypt, like the Hittites are so high up here too. That's surprising. The Vandals, this is crazy. Yeah, but I mean, Ramses may be one of the only great powers, and Alexander in the top 5, and they're barely here. The British, I certainly wouldn't consider their team, the British and the Spanish, their team to be a great power, and neither would France and the Hittites. No way. The Vandals, yeah, I guess, but they are just very quiet in the corner there, and I don't know if we could even give them the victory because they haven't done anything. But we'll see. This is a very shocking window. But, again, we have to account that we were just in a war. We were just in a world war. Rome with pretty much no military power whatsoever. Very, very shocking. That came out of nowhere. I'm very glad this window popped up. Now, why? Why does British have the #1 troops? Is it because of maybe these redcoats are a lot more powerful than we're thinking, but could we see the British and the Spanish jump into a second war? Could we finally see that Danish-Scottish war? do they have the fleet to be able to defend themselves from those two powers? That's the second question we need to ask. Is there anything else here? Nothing really. So what just happened? We've got Portugal and the Umayyad at war with Greece. Greece might have an interesting time sieging out this city. We also have France and the Hittites. So those are big wars for Greece in the east. So I don't know if the Greeks are going to be able to really help out the Goths all that much anymore with their wars, because they're going to be facing the Middle Eastern civs who are going to try to push Greece back out, push them back towards the Balkan states. This might be interesting. Okay, let's do this whole thing here. Bam. I might just like try to do the World's Fair soon. World's Fair doesn't really have an impact on the game. We'll see who ends up dominating that competition. The British also have a large fleet, somewhat of a large fleet, in the Mediterranean. I'm so shocked to see them so high in military power. That kind of just really came out of nowhere. Yeah, so Portugal is at war with France too, which is interesting. It was France that declared war on Greece, right? Or was it? I might have made a mistake there. I thought it was. It wasn't Portugal and France, was it? It was France, the Hittites versus Greek. We'll find out right now. Yeah, it was. It was 2 wars against Greece, pretty much. I see. No one's at war with France. I don't think. This is big. These smaller civs jumping in on these wars will make an impact. Oh, okay, so now the Sumer will be going after the Umayyad. But again, no immediate border. Are the Hittites at war with the Umayyad too? Oh, well, maybe I was right about the... Geez, I'm so confused right now. I don't know why I'm so confused. I guess I was right, because the Hittites and France are allied, and the Portuguese and the Umayyad are allied. So yeah, that does make a little bit of sense. Moors still holding strong, for the most part. Again, still waiting for the British. What will the British do? Also, what will happen? Will the siege of northern Hunnic territory begin? Since now Novgorod and Russia are free to do whatever they want, because the Huns have been kicked out of, for the most part, the Baltic states. Seems like that. Is Austria kind of retreated back to their own lands? Kind of a smart move. Can't believe this war is still going on. That's really shocking. I figured there'd be a peace deal a lot sooner than there has been. What is Ramses now doing? Off the top of my head, I don't think Ramses is at... I think Ramses is at war with Carthage, but that's it. I don't know if that's who they're going after. Still, Ramses trying to reach out and get closer to the Moors would be interesting. Keep in mind that the Vandals and Songhai, they might not be kind of the most entertaining team at the moment, but they might pose a significant threat in the future of this series, because the Egyptians, obviously, and the Moors are pretty powerful alliance. And really, at this point, Askia and the Vandals are really the only team that can stop them. I don't think no one from the Middle East is going to be able to stop the Egyptians. Not at this point. So maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe the Hittites aren't after Greece. I think that's what it is. Is this a coastal city? It is. So that will be a big deal. That will be a very big deal, because they can just send over these ships. Portugal, Denmark, Scotland. Interesting. Will they get kicked out of the British Isles? So that's a lot of civs declaring war on Portugal, which makes me think that maybe the British might decide to join in, potentially. Maybe. Few denouncements. People denouncing the Hittites, so we might be seeing a second French coalition start to form very soon. I mean, you never know. Those denouncements don't necessarily... I mean, it kind of opens up for the possibility of that, but it's not necessarily every single time. Portugal losing a fleet, losing a few ships in the North Sea. Do we see anything else? Any movement from Novgorod's army? Not really. Not really. And Attila's just sitting here, chilling, rebuilding. Attila's probably going to need to peace out with Russia and Novgorod at some point if they want to continue their dominance. Really, the Huns could, I think, have a really good time going down here, fighting the Armenians, fighting the Hittites. They'd have a very successful few conflicts, I think, between those civs. Sumer will be fine. Sumer, again, need to go after Babylon. Look, it's completely open. I know that this city is a little bit not so open, but still. I'd love to see the Sumer, a solo civ, do well in this map now that they lost their team member. Whoa. What is going on here? Is the British at war? It would have been Spain versus Rome. I don't think I remember seeing that pop up, that notification pop up. Because for the most part, it's the vanilla civs attacking vanilla civs. That's the symbol that pops up. I understand that it could have been their team member, but the way I did it, it's the vanilla icon that pops up versus the other vanilla icon. Those are the leaders, I guess, not the mods. When a war is declared or when a peace deal is enacted. Austria is still trying. Greece somewhat retreating from Gothic lands. And this was a very smart war, for the most part, for the world to get into. This coalition that formed against the Greeks and the Goths was really smart because it slowed down their progress. It really, really did. It slowed down their progress by a lot. Here come the Hittites, which the Hittites could steal the city away, technically. The Hittites might have actually a pretty significant advantage going after the Umayyad capital. I don't know if they can take it over completely, but still. The Umayyads are somewhat safe from the Huns. Huns are dealing with a big Russian war to the north. Yeah, I don't know. Here comes France. That's a tough city to take. Porto's a tough city to take because unless you have open borders with the British, it will be very difficult. If you get like a navy or something going on. The Sumer have built the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That is crazy. And the British are going to form a colony, I think. No, they're not because they don't have any melee units. Yep. Well, that was a nice try. First rate. Their ship of the line has been replaced by a unique unit called the First Rate. Same icon, though. I cannot believe the Sumer managed to build a wonder. Are they doing that well in the corner here without a team like that? I would have never guessed that would be possible in a campaign like this. Would have never guessed. They've got so many troops here still being able to defend themselves. Problem with the Sumer is if they don't go to war with Babylon, they won't be able to take over anything. They can't trek across the Arabian Peninsula. There's just no way. It's not going to happen. And here we go. So who takes this over? Whether it's the Hittites or the Greeks, it will be a pretty good location for either one of those. Obviously, Greece, it would be good. Connecting this island. I think this is Cyprus. I don't know. I keep getting confused by the islands. But either way, the Hittites could definitely utilize this power, though. They kind of need it desperately. It looks like it might go to the Hittites, unless they've already processed their turn. I don't think they have, though. Yeah, no. Okay, it will go to Greece. No, they don't have a melee unit nearby. Yeah, no, this boom, that is going to be the next Hittite city. They're going to be up to 4. They might even grab another Umayyad city down to the south. It's a big pickup. Big pickup for the Hittite and French alliance. That's huge. Anything else going on here? The Goths once again going after Budapest. And we have a peace deal between Greece. Oh, they did take it over. How? How'd they take that over? With a rifleman? Oh, was this open terrain? This was open terrain. This was grasslands. I thought this was a hill. It wasn't. So boom, they just walked in and bam. Big pickup for Greece. Very big pickup for Greece. Spain and Sweden. Which means Sweden, Lithuania, Spain, and Britain. Porto seems to be doing fine. Like I said, that's a tough city to take no matter what. So I think we have pieced out from most of the conflicts in the world. Besides the big, declaration against Carthage. No one's going to peace out with Carthage because they're just... I'm guessing they're just too weak at this point, or what? Oh, man, the Scandinavia needs to break out into war. It is huge right here. There are a lot of units in that. I mean, pretty much all of Central Europe. It needs to break out into just a massive war. It's way too cluttered right now. Extremely cluttered. So, to the Hittites now, what do they set their sights on? I think the AI is going to have a tough time targeting what city would be right to attack. So, that means the Netherlands and Armenia. We have Denmark, Scotland piecing out with France and the Hittites. We've got, there you go. So this will open up the Huns to either continue to invade the Goths, which I think they actually will. I think the Huns are too powerful. They already are. Boom. They're already moving in. I don't know. I mean, you know how the AI is. They peace out with other civs, like while they're about to, next turn they would take a city, but they peace out that civ. Still, who knows what will happen. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.